This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Thank you all for coming.
Oh, thanks, man.
I want to make a toast to friendship.
Cheers.
Cheers, Larry. You can't look me in the eye and toast.
What does it do?
You're saying, hello, I see you, I connect with you.
Hello, I see you, I acknowledge you, I connect with you.
I think you're rude.
You see how stupid it is?
What happened to the movie where you were playing me?
Oh,
the
God.
character was based on me?
Yeah, it went away. It's interesting because they were very specific. They loved the performance. They hated the character. The word that kept reappearing was repugnant.
Repugnant.
Angel Muffin, he's really sick.
Taking a dog to the fucking vet, it's like taking your fucking car to the dealership. They add shit on. Cut the nails. They gotta deworm these motherfuckers. Take the worms out these motherfuckers.
Hey, it's me.
Where are you?
There's traffic. I can't sit in traffic. I'm too smart.
What?
You have to have done something stupid to be in traffic. I don't belong here. Stop gossiping about my towels.
If your towels weren't so ratty, I wouldn't have to talk about them.
You want to talk about me? Fine. You want to talk about my relationships? Fine. Do not discuss my towels.
You never call me. You hate people.
I hate people individually, but I love mankind.
Oh, you do?
We don't know each other that well. You've said 30 insane things to me in the last few minutes.
I'm not an everyman.
No, you're not an everyman.
I'm not an everyman.
You are a singular man.
Do you not have any kind of feeling of spirituality and or you know what? Get the fuck out.
How's your dad?
Not great. Why don't you pray for him, huh?
I'll feel like an idiot.
Are you kidding me?
How do you know prayers don't work?
Because I'm bald.
We mixed, we loaded it, we edited it.
Sometimes we get so deep into conversation that we have separate segments worthy of their own place in the sun.
Here is a reshuffled mini episode.
HBO has created so many great classic shows, and they let them do what they want. Perfect example is that and Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sure if you like that show, I'm sure you saw the episode with Michael J. Fox where he's making fun of him the whole time.
Oh yeah. My God. Yeah. He's doing
Larry...
I love the part where he's like shaking. He's doing something at the end of the episode. Larry David.
Oh my God.
He's making fun of Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah.
He does something and like everybody thinks he's making fun of him at the end.
I know what it was. What it was that he thought his girlfriend's son was gay, so he bought him a sewing machine. So what happened was his what are you trying to make him gay? So he says, "All right, I'll buy him a violin." So when Michael J. Fox was doing this big speech in Central Park with the mayor there, he said, "Hey, Jeff," and everybody's telling him shut up. So he's trying to tell Jeff what he got him. He's playing the violin while Michael J. Fox is talking. That's what it was.
Oh, it was great, man.
Oh, and that episode with the kid with the sewing machine. Things I can finally make my my Dorothy costume. Like he's like, oh, he's like, so what does he give him for a fucking present? A pillow with a swastika on it.
There's one episode of that show that I remember, and it was titled Gil's Porno.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the traumatized Gil.
Season 1. I think it was about second or third episode. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, it never stops. And I think this show also does it. I mean, yes, again, Rich is absolutely right. Curb Your Enthusiasm, especially by the end, I'm feeling like, yeah, there's no way, had this show not been a success, I don't think Larry David would have been as inspired to do a similar thing where he's having celebs play dickhead versions of themselves. I think also just the whole deal of there's no off switch for any of these guys. And when the most sane person in the room is the craziest one, what's really crazy after a while? What is crazy? What is normal?
The thing I've said about Curb is that there was an episode I loved where he's opening a restaurant, right?
Oh yeah.
He's opening the restaurant, and there's a kid who's one of the kids of one of the owners, right?
Yeah, he's a little shit, isn't he?
Yeah, a little shit, but the kid's got an enormous penis. So he's like, so Larry walks up to the guy and says, your kid, he's got some penis on him. He's like, what?
Yes. Oh my
He's like,
God.
he's got some. What did you say about my kid? He's got a fucking like, and like Cheryl. I think him and Cheryl are looking at the kid, going, "Is that real?" No, that can't be. No, killing. So then later they get into an argument. He's like, the kid's being a little shit. He's like, "Hey, listen, pal, I'm not the one who brought my kid over here, and friggin', my kid over there who's like Uncle Milty."
Oh.
He says that fucking. I was howling the whole time. And then there's the one where him and who was it? Not Sherry O'Terry. Was it Sherry O'Terry?
It might have been Sherry, I think. I think she is on there.
You had to sing the same song over and over again.
Yeah. So what happens is she worked at Great Adventure or Six Flags for a long time, and they always played the Looney Tunes song.
Yeah.
So she was the babysitter for Jeff and Susie Eisman's kid, and she started to go nuts, and she pushed Jeff out the window. What was his name? Jeff
Garland
out the window.
Oh, that's right.
Previously in the episode, Larry had brought like 24 sponge cakes over, and Susie's like, "What the fuck you trying? He's fat already as is. What the hell are you trying to do? What am I gonna do? He's fucking sponge cakes, you asshole."
Yeah.
So then she throws the sponge cakes out. So Jeff's fall is broken by the sponge cakes.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? My introduction to that show, and I was hooked ever since, was his wife Cheryl's aunt died. So he goes, I'll do the obituary. I'll write it up. So then he comes back, and they're like, I can't believe you. And they're like, what? He reads. He goes, beloved mother and loving cunt. It's a typo. It's a typo. Don't say aunt. I said, oh my God, this show is the best. And I've watched every single episode numerous times. There was only one season I didn't like. I think he was going to die, and Richard Lewis was going to give him his kidney or something like that. That was like the only season that really wasn't that good for me. Every other season was right until the very end.
This is great. And see, every show has a weak spot, but again, even when it misfires, it's pretty minuscule in the overall scheme of things,
Their misfires are better than some of the show's best episodes, other shows' best episodes. So yeah, I'll take their misfires
the more
any
the
day.
shit hits, it's the fan, the better it is. Yeah.
Well, for Curb the Enthusiasm, for me, it was a more random thing for episodes I watched. I didn't watch like everything on it. Like I said, I remember one episode because of the title.
Yeah.
And it's the one where he's like literally holding on to someone else's porn.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I loved it how they got some older people. They got like Louis Nye, and the one I think I loved is Shelley Berman as his father.
Oh yeah.
So one time they're at the nurse. He's going to see his dad at the senior home, and he hears like moaning and groaning, and he's like, what the hell? He's like, Dad, what are you watching? No, I'm just watching a movie. He's like, Dad, this is a pornographic movie. Oh, really? I thought it was the Sound of Music.
Yeah, they had the volume blasted way up, so the whole.
Yeah, he's had it blasted way up,
Well, I'm sure you know the story of how one of his episodes actually saved a guy from a lifetime in jail.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
The Dodger game.
It was the carpool lane where he picks up a hooker so he can go to the baseball game, and he can ride in the carpool lane. So he picks her up, and because this guy got pulled over for broken taillight and he was charged with murder, and he goes, "No, I was at a taping of a show," and they found him in the footage in the stadium.
For his alibi, yeah.
Yeah, that really happened. His show saved somebody's life.
Wow.
Now, I got a question about Curb.
Wow.
Was that filmed before Richard Lewis passed away?
Yeah, he died in the middle of the last season.
Oh.
So did they address that at all?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I did see the whole season.
And Bryan Cranston
they
had
did
one.
address it, but I can't remember how they did, because I mean, you could tell like in the first couple episodes he was very frail, very sick, but he still played in the first 3 or 4 episodes of the last season, and I can't remember at the end they definitely did a dedication to him and everything, but I'm sure, I can't remember how they addressed it.
I think the weekend he died, they did a card at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Well, and also I take it you guys have seen the more recent Bryan Cranston one where he's like a therapist.
With TV show
To Larry on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
No.
Wait. He was on Curb. Are you talking about Curb?
Yeah.
He was there. I'm trying. Oh wait, which one was that? It was just not last season, a couple seasons ago, right?
Yeah, right. And it was just like a mini Seinfeld reunion as a result.
Oh, that yep. I remember now.
Because he was Tim Watley on the Seinfeld show, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
He's
Yeah.
the guy who like everyone always thought was doing something shady when he didn't mean it that way.
You know what's hilarious? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, he was the dentist. Remember, he was the
Right.
he was
And
the
for a
dentist.
while, Jerry and people kept thinking he was killing someone. It's like, no, he's just being a very caring doctor.
and then he's like, he's going to become Jewish because the jokes are better.
Yeah.
And this sort of has a tie-in with Larry Sanders Show because the last couple seasons, Vince Vaughn was a regular on the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's hilarious. But I think one of the funniest people on that
And
show.
Vivica Fox did comedy. Who knew she had that in her? You know.
Well, you know what? It's funny because the guy that I want to say was one of the funniest on the show, and I can't remember his real name, but he was Super Dave Osborne, James Brooks' brother.
Bob Einstein.
Thank you, Bob Einstein, and Vince Vaughn plays his cousin on that show. He replaced after Bob Einstein died. He replaced him, but he was. They were all hilarious.
Yeah, he's Albert Brooks' brother.
That's what I meant. Yeah, not James Brooks. Not James. Yeah, sorry, I meant Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks' real name is Albert Einstein. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
And his father played some guy on a TV show, and what happened was what happened was that their father was Park Your their father's a character named Park Your Carcass, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was one night they were giving a roast at the Friars Club, and he sat down and he had a massive heart attack and died on the dais, and nobody knew. They thought it was a joke or something like that.
Ah, jeez.
And that's how he passed away. But the great thing is I can't believe those two are related. You know that, but they're two great comedians. You know, they were two of the Bob and Albert. You know,
yeah. I mean, if anything, them and Gary all have like a fearlessness that is commendable for anybody. And I get that is part of the whole comedy act, but sometimes it just is hard to convey to people. It's like, hey, and it's just weird too. Like the execs do want something that's different, but it's just easier to cater to something that no one complains about because less, emails to read. But it's just like, well, eventually you're gonna get someone's gonna get sick of it, and you're just gonna have to deal with, stuff you don't want to deal with.
Well, here's the thing. I've always said that you have a cable series that's generic, and in the 80s it was they did do their HBO had their thing, Showtime had Brothers and what was it Hard Knocks, and there was a couple other shows that Showtime did. Cinemax wasn't doing that much, I don't think. But what happened was
they were doing documentaries.
yeah. But HBO was always going to up more. So when the 90s came around, they did Dream On, they did Tales from the Crypt, they had Kids in the Hall. They had what was the one? Jesus Christ! It had Raging Bullwinkle on it. Oh God, I remember watching it. It was just truly something TV. Like they ran that for a couple episodes, and then they went up to Mr. Show, and then it was
one with the name of it was something like Exit 9 or something like that.
No. It was
it 69? That'd be even funnier.
Hang on.
James is meditating. He's getting
Hold
his
on.
answer. I know.
Michael. I know. Let me get it. Raging Bullwinkle. Hold on. Raging Bullwinkle. Shit. Hold on.
But aren't you glad you're in the right crowd, Rich?
Yeah.
This is retro as fuck here. Hardcore TV. Hardcore TV.
Hardcore TV. Yeah. They did an episode where it was Raging Bullwinkle, and it's Mario Cantone. It's the guy dressed up as Bullwinkle, and like he's getting hit in the ring.
I have
somehow. If you ever see Raging Bull, if you watch Raging Bullwinkle, he's like, going, "You never knocked me down, Ray. You never knocked me down." And then then they're doing the scene with him and Pesci, and
yes,
and and he's going, "Did you fuck my wife?" in the Bullwinkle voice. And I saw it, and I was like,
God.
"Oh God!" I was laughing hysterically. It was like, "You burned the steak! You burned the steak! You took all the flavor out of it!" You know, I mean, oh God, you know, that was a show that was only for like 1 or 2 episodes, but it was funny to watch. And you know, that's the thing. HBO, you know, HBO was always upping the ante. Now it's not. You know, I think the last good shows they had on were Curb, The Sopranos. I'm not going to say Sex and the City because that was just such a shitty show.
Correction. The last great show they had was Barry.
Barry. You know, but they
Tales from the Crypt, as we mentioned before, so ridiculous how they lost the license on that. It's like, you should, you know, man up and buy that back. That is a landmark show. Can you imagine if they lost the rights to any of their other shows? Would you just say, "Oh, I guess it doesn't matter"? It's like, no.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and booty debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Cool thing about Blind Knowledge is we are in multiple countries. We are worldwide all across the globe. We are in the US, we are in the UK, we are in Canada, Germany, India, Japan. We're in Australia, y'all. BlindKnowledge.com. Now back to the feature presentation.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up review show.